Hello students, and welcome you all to this video lecture series on chapter data interpretation. And from today onwards we are taking the sessions on this data interpretation, which is a very important chapter for the various recruiting agencies which are taking the aptitude test for the placements for the companies such as Accenture, Cognizant and TCS. It is very important for the competitive exams also, for bank exams also. So in this data interpretation, various data is given in the form of various forms which you have to interpret and you have to solve the problems given on that data. So let us start with this session. First we will see what are the various types of DI. DI is the short form of data interpretation. So following are the types of this DI, that is table DI, pie chart DI, line graph DI, bar diagram DI, cascade DI or paragraph DI. So in all these types of DI, the data is given in the form of various columns, various graphs or various charts or in the form of paragraphs. And you have to read this data, you have to first understand this data, and this data you have to analyze as per the question and you have to tick mark the correct answer. So that data may be given in the form of table. So first type is the table DI, in which the data will be given in the form of this kind of table. So here in this table example I have shown, first column is of year and next column is item expenditure for the various cases, for salary, for fuel transport, for bonus, for interest on loans and for taxes. So all these values and the headings, these you have to read in first few seconds so that you can understand in the table what things are given. And next the questions based on this table will be there. You have to read the problem carefully and solve it. The questions based on this table DI are very simple, and it is easier to find the answer if your calculation is very fast. So this total overall chapter data interpretation is very simple. Anybody can solve these problems if you are having ample of time. So in a competitive exams, time is very less. That's why these problems will become a difficult to solve, because in very short time you have to solve these problems and we don't have time in competitive exams. So first table DI we have seen. Second pie chart DI. So in that diagram you can observe there is one pie chart given in which for various angles different values are given. Suppose binding there is 20%, second paper cost, then transportation cost, printing cost, promotion cost, royalty. So various percentage values are given at different angles. So such kind of information may be given in the form of pie chart also. Third, that is line graph DI. In line graph DI, the line graph is given along the x and y axis. So on x axis some different values will be there. For example, here the values are given of years, and on y axis amount in rupees, in crores it is given, and various lines are there drawn in that graph, and these lines are given with a different color to indicate the company X, company Y and company Z. So such kind of information may also be given in the form of graphs, that will be called as a line graph DI. Fourth type is bar diagram DI. In this, a bar diagram will be given in which on x axis there will be the, suppose B1, B2, B3 batches will be there, and on y axis some different thing will be there. Here it is a sales, thousands, it is given in the thousands. So and two bars are there which is represented in blue color and red color. And blue color it represent in year 2000 and in red color represent 2001. So that kind of data will be given in different forms. Here it is given in the bar diagram form. So and last one is the cascade DI or paragraph DI. Here the data will be given in the form of paragraphs. So you have to read that paragraph and you have to understand the data and you have to draw a Venn diagram from that. And from that Venn diagram you have to answer the questions given below that cascade DI. So students feel this difficult to solve the Casslet DI because you have to analyze and study the data from given paragraph, and you have to prepare a diagram, and then you have to solve the questions. So it is very time consuming. It is not at all that much difficult. If you are practicing too much, then it will be very easier to solve the Casslet DIs also. So here we have seen the just types of DI, in which format the data will be given to you. This is also very important because in first few seconds you have to analyze the data from these diagrams only. If you are not knowing these diagrams, it will be very difficult to solve the questions. Just know these diagrams by solving few problems. So the types of DI can be a table DI, pie chart DI, line graph DI, bar diagram DI, and Casslet DI, which is also called as a paragraph DI. So on that DI, which type of questions are asked? So the questions generally ask in the form of average, ratio, and percentage. If you are good enough in the average, ratio, and percentage, then you can easily solve the questions based on this data interpretation. So firstly, the question will be there based on the average. How to find average? You know that if suppose consider one example that in a batch there are 20 students which are having different weight. So if you want to find out the average weight of that batch, you can add the weights of each and every student, that is suppose A plus B plus C up to 20, all the weights of all students divided by number of students, that is divided by 20. If you do this, you will get the average weight of all students. So this way you can find out the average. Next is ratio. So this is also important because the in problem how the question it is asked, whose ratio is asked with respect to whom, that is also important. That's why you need to read the question carefully. The ratio of A with respect to B will be the A as to B, and ratio of B with respect to A will be B as to A. So whose ratio with respect to whom is asked, that is also important. So this ratio is also asked to find in some problems. After average ratio, next is percentage. They will ask to calculate percentage. So there are various cases that we will see. First case, they may ask to find x is what percent of y. X is what percent of y. In that case, you have to just take the ratio of x divided by y into 100 for finding the percentage. So x is what percent of y, that can be found by x upon y into 100. In vice versa, they may ask to find y is what percent of x. Therefore, you can find out y upon x is into 100, y upon x into 100. So for example, it is given that so any student is having weight of 50 and one student is having 60. So they have asked to find out what is a weight of x, or weight of x is what percentage of weight of y. So that you can find out 50 divided by 60 into 100. So 50 divided by 60 into 100, that will be the x weight is what percentage of y. Like that you have to find out. Secondly, they may ask to find out x is what percentage more or less than y. X is what percentage more or less than y. So here you have to use this formula x minus y divided by y into 100 for both the cases, whatever may be, x is more or x is less than y. So for the example, I will consider that suppose one student is there whose weight is suppose 60 kg. 60 kg is the weight of x student, and weight of y student is suppose a 50 kg. Weight of y student is 50 kg. So if you put these values in the equation, you will get x minus y divided by y. X is larger here, therefore you can generally assume that, or generally find the value plus for this, and that is nothing but x is having more percentage with respect to y. Therefore x minus y, 60 minus 50 divided by 50 into 100. Therefore you will get 10 divided by 50 into 100, that is 20%. So x is 20% more than y. So here value will get in plus. So when value of this formula is coming as a plus, then you can have the conclusion that x is more as compared to y. If x is less as compared to y, suppose x is here 50 or x is 40 and y is 50. X is suppose 40 and y is 50. So here if you put the values in this formula, 40 minus 50 divided by 50. So 40 minus 50 is minus 10. Minus 10 divided by 50 into 100, it will be minus 20%. So minus 20% represent x is 20% less than y. X is 20% less than y. Therefore, for both the cases, you have to use the same formula, that is x minus y divided by y into 100. That may be plus percentage or minus percentage, that you can conclude by the sign, whether it is plus sign or minus sign. So problem based on this formula will be also there. And last is percentage change. So there may ask the percentage change, to calculate the percentage change also. That can be found by one formula, that is final value minus initial value divided by initial value. FV is nothing but a final value. IV is initial value. Therefore final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100, you will get the percentage change. So we will use this formulas and we will solve one question based on the each type of the DI. And here in this video we will cover the table DI. We will take one problem based on the table DI. So this is the problem. The table below shows the number of mobile phones that were sold by the showroom in year 2000, in years from 2006 to 2010. Answer the below questions based on the information given in the table. So here the table, just observe the table for first few seconds, what information is given in the table. So in first column years are given 2006 to 2010, and in subsequent columns A, B, C, D, E, F, these are the showrooms, and the cell of the mobile is given in that column. So that's numbers 183, 178, 133, 264 and 278. These numbers represent the sale of mobile by showroom A for these years. For these years, this is the sale of showroom A, and that I can, or I have read in the question only. These are the mobile phones, or these are the sale of these are the sold by these showrooms. So that's why it is important to read the question also and to analyze the table also in first few seconds. After that, read the question, what will be the average number of mobile phones sold by all the showrooms in year 2007. So in year 2007, observe here, in year 2007, these are the number of mobiles sold by each showroom. So it is asked to find out the average mobile phones, average number of mobile phones sold by all showrooms in 2007. So just how to find the average, summation of all the numbers divided by how many showrooms are there. 6 showrooms are there, that's why divided by 6. So the addition of these values in 2007, add all these numbers divided by 6, you will get the value as 215.66. So here in option there is 215, which is closely matching to this answer. Therefore this A option will be correct. 215 average mobile phones will be sold in 2007 by all the showrooms. So this is the answer of first question. Second question, in which of the following year was the average sale of the mobile phone is least? So here question is asked, in all these years, in which of the year the sale is, average sale of the mobile phone is least? So just like last problem, here also you have to find out the average in each year. So it is very time consuming to find out the average of all the years, but you have to do it. These kind of questions are very simple, but they are time consuming because you can easily find out the average, but you need to find out the average for each and every year. But here it is not necessary to find out exact average, because exact average is not asked. Just it is asked that in which year was the average sale of the mobile phone is least. So average you are finding how the addition of all numbers divided by how many numbers are there or how many showrooms are there. So here showrooms in each case is same, that is you have to divide by 6. So just find out addition of the all mobile sale in each year whose addition is very less, it will produce the less average. So here in 2006 make the all addition sale of the numbers or sale of the mobile phones by each showroom and you will get 1165. Sale of the all showrooms in 2007 is 1294, which is more than sale in 2006. So like that, just find out the addition in each and every year. You will get that in 2006 this addition is very less or least. Therefore, the average of that will be the least. Therefore, option 2006 A option will be the correct answer. In that only the average sale will be the less. So therefore here exact average value, this ratio you need not to find out, just find out the addition and whose addition is less, that will be the having less average. So in few questions you need to apply your mind also. Next question, third, what is the ratio of the mobile phone sell by showroom A with respect to showroom E in all 5 years? So in all 5 years, whatever amount of cell phones sell by the A, its ratio with respect to sell of showroom E is asked. Therefore, you need to first find out the total sale by A showroom. Just make the addition of total sale of A showroom and total sale of E showroom. So make the addition of these two and take the ratio A divided by E. A's sale divided by each sale. You will get the ratio as 0.75. So here you can observe that one more thing. Need not to calculate this exact value because the ratio is 1036 divided by 1371. So this ratio will be generally, you can observe here that it is less than 1 because this 1036 is less than 1371. So more than two options are there, these will be automatically closed and only two options are remaining. From that first option is 0.70, 0.50. So this 1036 is not exactly half of 1371 that you can judge. So this option also gone, only one option is remaining, that is 0.75. So from these options also you can easily get this 0.75, need not to find out exact ratio also here. So the option B, that is 0.75, will be the correct for this question. Next question, how many percentage of mobile phones were sold by the showroom F with respect to showroom A in 2010? So here it is asked to find out the percentage of sell by showroom F with respect to A, that is F divided by A, not A divided by F. Here F divided by A percentage is asked. Therefore in 2010, what is the sell of F showroom? So it is 196. And what is the sell of showroom A in 2010, it is 278. Therefore take the ratio of 196 and 278 and multiply by 100. Just this ratio you need to find out, and this ratio is coming as a 70.50. So the option C will be the correct. Just as simple as this question. Next, how many percentage of mobile phones were sold by the showroom E in 2008 less than the showroom A in 2010? So here the percentage more or less it is asked, isn't it? So for that we need one formula, that is x minus y divided by y into 100. This formula we have understand. So here in 2008 E showroom had sold. So in 2008 E showroom had sold 239 cell phones. So 239 will be the x minus in 2000, this will be the x value, and A showroom in 2010 had sold 278 cell phones minus 278 divided by 278. So if you put in this formula, you will get this equation, and this value is coming as a minus 14. Therefore, from minus value you can judge that there is a percentage which is less. That means how many percentage of mobile phones were sold by showroom E in 2008 less than the showroom A. You can easily judge from the numbers also, that is 239 and 278. Therefore, E is selling less mobiles as compared to A showroom. Therefore, this percentage is coming as a 14%. So the answer will be A option. Next question, what is the percentage change of showroom D sale from year 2007 to 2008? So here it is asked the percentage change. So for percentage change you have one formula, that is final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100. So here at 2007 to 2008 it is asked. For 2007 the value of the cell for D showroom is 95, and at 2008 it is 176. 95 and 176. So final value will be 176 minus initial value is 95 divided by initial value is 95. If you put the values you will get this percentage as 85.26, and it is the second option. Therefore this B option will be correct for this question. So like that, on this table DI we have solved 6 questions, and it will cover all the types of questions which can be asked on that table DI. So similar type of question set we will find out in the next video. We will solve in next video, and we will solve in further subsequent video all types of DIs and difficult questions. This is a very simple table DI that we have covered in this video, because it is the introductory session on the data interpretation. So thanks for watching, and do write in the comment box if you are having query, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you very much.